Hey everyone, time for today's video devotion. I hope you're watching with your family and then sharing in a time of discussion and reflection afterward. We're talking this week about Jesus' journey to Jerusalem, and yesterday I shared some thoughts about transformation. Today I'm going to invite you to look at a familiar story Jesus shared with a lawyer he encountered on the way, and how Jesus invites us all to transform the way we see other people. The parable of the Good Samaritan found in Luke 10 is probably the most well-known parable of Jesus. Even people who have never gone to church are familiar with the character of the Good Samaritan. Cities and states have laws called Good Samaritan laws that protect those who try to help injured people. Now, I'm not going to read you this parable, but I am going to share the highlights, and then you can read the full story with your family after you finish watching this video. Most of us know the details of the story, but in case you need reminding, here are the important things to remember. A lawyer asks Jesus, "Who is my neighbor?" Jesus responds with a story about a man traveling. And remember that traveling is symbolic of transformation. We don't know anything about this man. We don't know his name. We don't know his country. We only know that he was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, and on the way, he's mugged by bandits and left for dead at the side of the road. And then three other travelers encounter the victim: a priest, a Levite, and a Samaritan. Sounds like a start of a bad joke, right? Well, the priest and the Levite are both Jewish religious leaders. Reading this today, we expect these men to be willing to help the wounded man on the side of the road, but they didn't do anything. Maybe because the way they interpreted Jewish law meant that they couldn't help, but the Samaritan stops and helps him. He applies first aid. He carries him to an inn and he pays for his care. He's even willing to go into debt to the innkeeper for this stranger he's never met. This would have been so hard for the Jewish lawyer to hear, and it would have been hard for all of the Jews to have heard this story. Remember that the Jews and the Samaritans did not like each other at all, but in this parable, the Samaritan is the hero, and by making him the hero, Jesus invites his Jewish audience to transform their definition of neighbor. Let's pause right there and think who our neighbors are. I invite you to read Luke 10, 25 through 37 with your family, the whole story of the Good Samaritan. But here's the challenging part. After you read the story, have an honest conversation about the type of person you think about when you think of a neighbor. What do they look like? What's the color of their skin? How much money do they make? Do they have a nice house or nice things? Now think about how Jesus might invite you to transform how you define neighbor. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home if you're able, and feel free to share this devotion with your tribe. See you soon.